Welcome to my Walking Dead episode 12 review. This is the name of this episode is called Clear, and this was kind of honestly maybe the worst episode of the season. I'm just being honest with you here. I don't want to just pretend that I like every single episode, but this one, it seemed kind of pointless to me, and I'll get more into specifics later. And maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't, but that's part of the fun and joy of watching these shows is just getting into the character's mind and finding out what they were trying to do. Okay, so let's talk about. I missed last episode, but let's move on. Opening scene. This is a tough one because you see this situation arise many times in zombie or post-apocalyptic. So we got this issue again of this guy, and he wants to be rescued, and we've seen it before in movies, and how it's a trap, and they come out to rescue them, and then it's just people start shooting from the woods, and they take all their supplies and stuff. And obviously, a lot of the viewers have that expectation that this guy is setting a trap, but the more times that we see him through this episode, the more, and even maybe I'm just a softie, and I probably wouldn't last long in this world, in this zombie world, but the longer and the more times we see this guy, it just burns me that they didn't pick this guy up. I cannot believe they didn't pick him up. They didn't even stop. They didn't even really look around. Carl didn't care. Michonne didn't care. Like, I'm surprised there was no questioning. Like, I can see if Rick just told Michonne to just keep on driving, but like, if Michonne had, like, I don't know. I'm just surprised neither of them commented back and was like, maybe we should, consider picking this guy up. I don't know. I hate these scenes. They're just there to just emotionally wreck you, and it just gets me every time. So they head off. Michonne, this whole episode features around just the four characters pretty much, and this guy, Michonne, Rick, and Carl, and Morgan, as we'll see later. So they get to the town, and what was interesting about this town was the whole setup they had. He's basically using spikes out of different things with rat traps in the middle to lure the walkers into, trying to grab them, and then they just impale themselves on spikes, which seems pretty illogical, but I guess that's just shows you how dumb the zombies are that they would walk into a spike. So obviously they're very concerned, this Rick's group is, about walking through this booby-trapped region, and rightfully so, as there was quite a few little fishing lines and stuff like that could have messed them up pretty badly. I thought I thought they were exploring a new town or a new suburb, but it actually was a town that as we see later, Carl was quite familiar with. So that was interesting. So yeah, as I was saying, it's interesting to see how people set up defenses against zombies. Like, obviously, Woodbury has its tire walls, fortifications, and the prison uses the already existing fence networks, and prisons are designed to keep people in, but the same works for keeping people out. And this is just a nice, an interesting homemade job of fortification by basically one person, I believe. I think pretty much this is the same town that Rick's house was in, I believe. So he's going back to his roots, although we never actually got to see that part of town, or very much of the town for that matter. It's still interesting to see that. So then they're traveling through this barricade, and then they trip on a wire, and Carl just shoots somebody. And as you know, I thought he killed someone. He already killed zombified Shane, and he's killed Lori, who was going to become a zombie. And now he just shot some guy right in the chest, and he survived because he was wearing a bulletproof vest. And we find out, ta-da! It's Morgan from season 1. He may have been in season 2 a tiny bit. I don't remember. There might have been a flashback or something. Anywho, what I really didn't like about this scene, and really the whole thing, I did not like that it was Morgan. I really did not like it at all. I felt like it was unnecessary, pointless, and it made the world seem so small. We'll talk about this more in a little bit probably, but first I want to talk about, at the start of every episode, at least when you watch it on TV, it tells you like it gives you a little bit of a snippet of like what's going to happen in the episode. Like, so at the very start of the snippet, it showed Rick sitting on the hill overlooking Atlanta on the radio, calling and waiting at dawn for Morgan to pick up. As soon as I saw that, I knew Morgan was going to be involved in this episode, and I was just like, I really, you're just going to, like, spoiler alert, the big surprise from the episode you just ruined in the little preview thing. Like, why do they include that? I don't understand. So when Rick took the mask off and it was Morgan, what would have been a big surprise just turned out to be like, oh great, it's whoop-de-doo, no one cares. I don't understand why that happened. I don't understand why they did that. Like, it's stupid. Let's see here. Yeah, the world's becoming too small. It's very cheesy. You think about Merle kind of meeting up with the crew again, and even Rick in season 1 meeting up with Lori and all the turmoil that was, the Atlanta and the surrounding region, that he just happened to run into Glenn, who happened to be a part of their group, which, it seems like everyone we've met in the show is the entirety of the existing world, pretty much. I was kind of hoping this would be like a third group in this town, because from the preview it looked like they were being shot on, and maybe it was a different town being defended by some humans, but instead it's just Morgan, so that's just cheese. Wasn't happy with that, so they waited for him to wake up, and of course, just for, dialogue's sake and more interest, I suppose, they made Carl and Michonne go and do their own little adventure together. And that adventure was interesting, and I think we'll talk about that in a bit. Will we? Yes, we will. I think we will. I don't know. I shouldn't really say that because I probably forget half the time because I get on a little bit of a tangent. Where are we at here? Michonne starts really bringing it, and Carl starts being stupid. Like, I'm thinking in particular where Michonne had a lot of kills. This was Michonne's best episode. I think we should go to the next slide probably now. Here he wakes up. He's waking up. He's looking at all the chalk and stuff and whatever. Interesting scene. And, yeah. Michonne starts bringing in this episode, looking after Carl, and when Morgan wakes up finally, sorry for being in that first slide for so long, I know that's bad, Rick basically tells him, look man, you are pretty messed up, and I just didn't like it. I really did not like the whole Morgan thing. It's like, here is this guy who's living by himself, guess what, he's suicidal. Guess what? He wants to die, but he won't kill. Like, he's not even suicidal. He just wants Rick to kill him. Like, as if, like, if you really wanted to die, why didn't he just kill himself? Like, was he waiting for Rick to show up or someone to show up and shoot him? I don't understand. I mean, I know he's going through a lot, but why they needed to have this character be Morgan, to me, is really unjustified. I think it would have been cooler had they met a group of maybe 3 or 4 people and maybe brought 2 of them back to the prison, or 1 of them back to the prison, That would have been kind of cool. But instead, we get what was really kind of a useless scene, and what really turned out to be a useless episode in a lot of ways, in my opinion, which is too bad, because I don't really think anything was really accomplished. I think we got a bit more insight into, like, Michonne was the best part of the episode, and Carl a little bit, but we didn't really learn that much about anything else. The rest of the group and Woodbury was completely ignored, which is fine, but I don't think that, the Morgan thing was just silly in my opinion. It was just silly. And we get the sad story of how Morgan's wife, I'm guessing that she opened the door to the house they were staying in like she'd been trying to do. I don't know, I thought they would have barricaded it up like they did before. Or maybe it wasn't, but she walked in there, her son couldn't shoot her, she ate her son. That's terrible. It's terrible, and obviously he feels terrible because he should have shot her in the street like you see in this, I think this is season 1. Terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. So then we have the whole scene with Carl trying to ditch Michonne, and Carl's like trying to go get this crib, and he's got some other side mission he wants to go do, and so he's trying to get a picture. Eventually, we'll find out, and he gets the picture. I think we'll go to this one now. Like, for most of the episode, I didn't like Carl, but at the very end of the episode, I liked Carl because when he said, he said something about I forget what he said, but he said something, and it kind of justified what he was doing. Oh, he wanted a picture of his mother. That's what it was, so he could remember her. I was like, okay, everything he did is just justified. But nevertheless, why couldn't you just come out and say that initially? Like, I want to go get this picture of my mother hanging in the bar. And then Michonne would be like, okay, that sounds like a good idea. And Michonne, being the boss, goes in there, gets the picture, and, well, Carl is leaning against a glass wall. Like, I would not do that. What if one zombie just happened to punch, right through the wall, or grab him or something, right through the window? I don't know. Things happen, man. I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't turn my back on a glass window like that. It's too scary. And yeah, so Michonne got that piece of furniture, and that was so sick. That was really awesome. Michonne vaulted from being like, I don't know, like a second tier character in this episode to being like a first tier character, in my opinion. Like, my opinion of her, and just because she spoke and she talked, and I don't know, and she communicated with Carl, and she's now in with the group, and it's just great. It's great stuff. But Carl, yeah, he's got a long ways to go. He's got to understand that he's not the leader. That he's not. He's overconfident at this point. He's had some successes, and he's believing he's kind of got a little Anakin Skywalker in him, where he thinks that his Obi-Wan Kenobi is not giving him enough freedom to do what he wants, and he feels like he's being restricted by his father. But in reality, he's not really ready to do the things that he wants to do, although he has had success doing the things that he has been told to do. So, moving on, I think that's all I have to say. This was kind of a shorter episode, in my opinion, because it was smaller in scope. It was more personal, but at the same time, the personality of Morgan and just the whole uselessness of it kind of was annoying. I've always liked the idea of trying to clean up the world post-apocalypse, and Morgan, as you can see at the end of the episode, which is the title of the episode, is called Clear, and he says, I need to go clear. That's like his purpose in life, is to clear, and he just basically every day he goes out and he's trapping zombies and killing them one by one and trying to clean the whole region of zombies slowly, one by one, try to return to normality, essentially. And so I do appreciate that, but why it had to be Morgan, I don't know. It makes the world too small and cheesy, and now you're questioning, like, if everyone that you've ever seen is going to come back in the show. I don't know. It's kind of silly. And I think that's everything I've got to say, guys. If you have any comments or thoughts, put them below. I would really appreciate it. I really enjoy reading your comments. Don't spam with garbage, though. And if you see people spamming garbage, like advertising for weightlifting things or whatever, please just flag for spam. I hate it. It's garbage. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a good one. I won't be able to do episode 13. I'll probably be late with, knowing my schedule for next week, and I've been pretty busy with school. But thanks for watching, guys. That's not your business. You just want to watch the episode. You don't want to know about my life. My life's boring. You just watch The Walking Dead. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Peace.